Hi everybody, it's Marty. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming for some story time. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most embarrassing moments I ever had being pre-op. When I was pre-op, SRS, downstairs pre-op. And I know you don't need to have that to function in the world. And I lived like that till I was 32, from 15, 16 to 32. So I know, honey, relax. But this is the weirdest thing that ever happened to me. And it probably, the weirdest thing that ever happened to people that decide to keep that too. Like there's really, we live in a world where it is odd, and that's it. So anyway, stick around. It's really, really funny. And like, oh my God, I can't believe that it happened like that. So, yeah, stick around. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Thank you. Namaste. It would really help this channel. And like the video, make sure you like and comment down below about your most embarrassing experiences with that too. So, and anything else? Yeah, if you're having trouble, I will pop up a card right there and it'll lead you to one of my stories and show you how I walk through life. And if you need some one-on-one, if you go into the video description down there, there's toll-free numbers for the States and Canada for suicide hotline. So if you're having any trouble, please, please, please call. We don't have to suffer today. It's awesome. We can do this stuff that I couldn't even imagine when I was a kid. Yeah, I'm 58 years old. I had a teen trans experience. If you're new to this channel, and yeah, hopefully that will help you, that story. So let's get on with the story. Story time. Why I was so embarrassed this time. So, oh my God, it was so weird. Where do I start? Okay, so I came into recovery in 1991, completely changed my life around 28, 29. I came into recovery from drugs and alcohol and, the survival, you know, escort industry and all that stuff. And I just completely bottomed out with all of it. I couldn't do any of it. One led to the other led to the other. I just couldn't do it. I had to retool this whole thing. So I had to go to detox. I had to do the whole recovery thing. For me, that's the way it worked for me. And in detox, they told me I had no living skills and I needed to go to a treatment center right away. So they sent me to this Aurora Treatment Center for women. Yeah. So, but I needed treatment. I had to learn, and I didn't want to be in a mixed recovery center because, first of all, I just didn't trust myself around men because I was always just, I was still in that lifestyle, right? And I needed to just focus around my tribe, which was women. I was like abused like a woman. I'd gone through the same stuff, everything. And back then, that's the way it was. It's like my closest friends were women, and even in the industries and stuff like that too. It was like I was the only, person of trans experience, where I worked in escort stuff and when I owned an escort service. And it's really different now, but back then we were very few and far between. Usually it was just on the stroll, right? But, uh, you know, I don't know. In the Western Canada, that's the way it was. There was very few of us. So anyways, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this. So anyways, I went to this women's treatment center and it was, I was pre-op and it was, but my whole life was like that. I always had to just hide the dirty little secret, and that's what I called it. And if you want to look at, if you want to watch one of my videos about my SRS journey, I started my journey my first time at 18 years old going to get it. And if you want to watch that video, I'll link it down below. There was 3 times why I had to cancel it. So, I didn't get it until I was in my early 30s, right? So anyways, I was 28 years old in this recovery center for women, for women. And thank God there was nothing like turf or anything even existed then. It was just really loving. So I didn't know who knew what or what knew who or whatever type of thing. I sort of knew a few people around the recovery world, but I knew I'd be safe in this women's treatment center. So I went in there and I didn't know if they read me or whatever. And I just thought, most people that I bumped into back then, they wouldn't, most people that were of any substance or was in, in the healing arts or something like that, they wouldn't ask you about it. They wouldn't say, "Hey, are you a tranny?" You know what I mean? Or, "Hey, like, you just wouldn't, didn't do that. Now it's just like so uncouth. People are just like, ugh, on both sides of the fence. Even we do it. Like, it's crazy what goes on these channels, and you peeps in the peephole and all the comments and stuff. It's like no class with some of the stuff that gets said and left down below. And what can you do? All of these, like, really misguided, sad people that aren't getting the love that they need, haven't been raised correctly, and their parents' basement's going nuts. So, anyways, let's pull it back. Okay, so I went to this women's treatment center. So I'm there, pre-op, and I'm starting to just kind of come to. I've been like about 6 weeks sober. There's about 16 women in there, and they rotated over 4 weeks. So I was no 6 weeks. So I was week one, and there was like about four of us that came in that were really new. And so, anyways, I ended up just really kind of gagging because everybody was so like hugging and all this stuff that I wasn't used to, right? Like, I was just this hard ass little kid, and 28. And it's like, and I remember the first counseling appointment there, I said, "You know what? Let's get this straight to my counselor." I said, "Okay, you're going to be with me for 6 weeks. I don't cry and I don't hug." And I'm sitting there in all my leathers and stuff. And she's going, "Okay," because everybody was hugging and, "Oh my God, can I fill up on some hugs?" And I was like, excuse me. Oh, that was on cue. I was just this jaded, punk rock chick, too cool to cry type of thing and all that stuff. And I was just really sick and hurting and all that stuff. So, anyways, I'm gonna get to the story. The most embarrassing thing. You can see that where this could fall apart anytime, right? So I'm bunking with an older woman, and really cool. Her name was Margot. I remember that. Anyways, we're going. You have to do group every day, and you have to do. There's like a there's like a certain topic every day in the afternoon, like a workshop. This one day, um, the workshop in the afternoon was about loving our bodies. It was called "Loving Our Bodies" or something like that. So we go into this little classroom downstairs in the basement, and we sit down on the dry erase board. It says "Loving Our Bodies" or something like this. And so it's all of this love in the body, blah 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 type of thing. And then they asked, then this counselor asked, a show of hands, who has like looked at their vagina, like has actually looked at their vagina and knows where everything is. And I'm like, oh my God. There's a couple of people that put up their hand, but not many people did. So I didn't hold up my hand either, right? And and it's quite shocking how many women, cisgender women, my friends, most of my friends, that at that time did not look at their hoo-has. Like, they didn't know everything. They didn't even know how to pleasure themselves. It was all about, just, the same old, just pleasing the guy type of bullshit. So, anyways, so at the end of this, she kind of ended the session like that, asking, and we were all like, "Oh my God!" So we're laughing and we're all embarrassed and stuff. And so she opens up this case and starts handing out pocket mirrors to everybody. And she says, "Your homework tonight is to take your mirror that I've given you and go upstairs, when you're alone, lay in your bed and get to know your vagina and all of its parts, and start to love yourself that way by accepting that." And I thought, oh, oh my God, I'm a freaking liar. What the hell am I doing here? Oh my God. It's like, I thought that the villagers should be coming through the freaking house with pitchforks and saying, "She doesn't belong." Like, oh my God, I was so embarrassed because I did not know what to do. Like, and I felt so, it's just weird, right? Like, it's like, that's when you really know, in some of the spaces where you are different, right? At some point, I went and talked to my counselor, and I said, "I really need to talk to you and I sat down, and she's going, "Oh, you're starting to feel stuff, are you?" And all that stuff. And I go, "Well, I just feel like I'm an imposter and stuff." And it's like, and I said, I told her, I said, and this is where it gets weird. I say, well, it's like, you see, I was born, and then just as I'm about to say, you know, born with a penis or something like that, I was born a boy or something. Falls out of my mouth. I was born intersex. I was born intersex comes out of my mouth. And then recalling the story, I remembered it was like that was a term that I would use a lot, and a lot of us, really fishy girls would say that because it was kind of a way of acknowledging our exist it's like we were making excuses for our existence, like saying, well, if we say intersex, then it's like then they'll accept us more. It's a common lie, that we say. And I think I even said it on some of my first videos that I ever did here. It's like a woman of a teen transgender transsexual intersex experience or something like that. And I used to think, oh, because I didn't have to hardly take hormones, and I didn't like do have body hair, nothing there. As I got older, I did a bit, just plucking. But it's like that it was my right to be able to say that. Like I bullshitted my brain to think that. So anyways, I'm telling her I'm intersex. And she goes, oh, well, did you have the corrective surgery? And I went, no, it's like, that's what's so embarrassing is that I still have. And she went, oh, that's interesting. And I said, yeah. I said, it's probably because my mother was taking thalidomide when she was pregnant with me. And I don't know where I pulled that out of my ass, but it's like, I think I'd used that before somewhere, that I used to say that my mom, was using thalidomide, and that's why I was born the way I was. And and she quite possibly could have. I remember stories about thalidomide and her talking about me, but it actually, I remember doing the research afterwards, and it just so happens that the year I was born, that's when they banned thalidomide in Canada. And if for you kids that don't know, thalidomide was widely used for pregnancy sickness, and a lot of flipper babies, they called it, babies that were born with like short limbs and stuff like that. And so I used to just say that, and I don't know what made me say that to her. I said, yeah, it's like could have been because my mom took thalidomide or something. Like, why did I even have to say that? It's so weird. So she's going, do you mind us bringing this up in group tomorrow? We can have like a group talk, and just so that everybody feels comfortable and that you feel comfortable too, and that so that you know that you're loved here and everything. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they're gonna kick me out once I tell them that. It's like, ew. So I ended up uh, telling the group the next day. She said, would you mind telling, you know, Marty has something to tell you. And I told them the same thing. And then her name was Catherine, bless her heart. She says, and I want everybody to know, I did some research last night when I came home, after I talked to Marty, and that is one of the side effects that could happen, like anomalies at birth, and birth anomalies, like sexual ambiguity and stuff like that. And I thought, oh my God, I couldn't believe that actually was there. And then I'm thinking, see, it's like you do know, like maybe you just know this stuff. It's like, oh my God. It's like, but yeah, I just pulled that stuff out of my ass. It's like I did, and honest to God, that I guess that's one of the side effects of thalidomide. So, anyways, this is really embarrassing saying this over again, even though I know that I'm just talking to a camera right now. But so, anyways, that was my most embarrassing. The one they keep percolating up and popping up. So I might have some other weird ones. When you get older, that stuff happens. But that is one of the weirdest things that ever happened. That when they handed out those mirrors and they said, I want you to look at your vagina tonight and get to know it and all this stuff. And it's so neat because it was like the biggest bonding experience was with these women, and it saved my life healing in recovery with women. And I know that there's so many things have been so messed up now with this great renaissance of the transgender stuff and whatever, but the bad part is that they are othering in a lot of women's spaces, especially like if you're pre-op or or non-op or whatever, or these, I couldn't imagine like if you decided to be gender non-conformant, whatever. But it's like for me, I knew I needed to heal with women, and if I couldn't have done that, it's like I don't know if I'd be here today. Being around women's energy is the most healing experience for me. Like I need that. Like I can't do that deep work with men. It has to be with my fellow women that that um, that that work from here at the heart. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you because I just thought that was pretty wild. Okay, so I love you guys. Thanks for another story time, joining me at the brick wall, the wall of dumping shame, getting rid of the shame, moving forward with our stories, getting things out. Yes, that's the way we do it here. So may you be well. So wherever you're watching this in the time capsule, I hope you're well in this video time capsule. I hope this love finds you. Love you guys. Please like and subscribe, and join me on Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific time for my live stream podcast. And on Wednesdays at 12 noon Pacific, both Pacific times, for an inspirational podcast. On Sundays, it's more of a topic discussion stuff. And yeah, that's about it. And I'll see you in the next video or the next live. Love you guys. Bye. May you have peace. May you have ease of well-being. May you have perfect health. Take a breath with me. Breathe in that cool sea air. Love you.